He had everything most people could only dream of: endless money, fame, luxury cars, and the kind of confidence that came from knowing the world seemed to bend to his will. He believed there was nothing in life he couldn't buy, no door he couldn't open, and no heart he couldn't win. But all of that changed the moment he met someone completely different, someone who couldn't be impressed by any of it, someone who saw through the glitter and looked straight at what truly mattered. Ethan was the kind of man who measured everyone's worth in price tags, judging life by what it could buy. Every day for him began with luxury and ended with pride, surrounded by people who flattered him not out of affection, but out of fear of losing his favor. And he loved it that way, until one ordinary afternoon arrived and turned his perfect, predictable world upside down. One day he noticed her outside a small art studio. She sat in a wheelchair, completely absorbed in sketching the sunset, lost in her own peaceful world. There were no expensive clothes, no makeup, no signs of the life he was used to, just quiet, simple beauty. When he tried to speak to her, she didn't even look up. And for the very first time in his life, someone made him feel invisible. Ethan couldn't get her out of his mind. He found himself visiting the studio over and over, pretending it was all just a coincidence. She rarely spoke to him, and when she did, her words were simple, honest, and sometimes shockingly real. She didn't care about his money, his cars, or his reputation. What mattered to her was how he spoke, what he said, and most importantly, why he was really there. Slowly, something inside him began to change. For the first time in his life, he wanted to listen instead of showing off. He discovered peace in silence, beauty in simple moments, and a kind of love that money could never buy. He wasn't trying to impress her anymore. Her presence simply showed him the kind of person he could truly become. The world around him began to notice the change, and not everyone understood. Friends mocked him, calling him foolish, while his business partners warned that love was nothing more than a dangerous distraction. But for the first time, he didn't care about their opinions. Because for the first time in his life, his heart felt richer than his bank account ever had. Then one day, she finally shared the story behind her wheelchair. A car accident caused by a drunk driver had taken her ability to walk. Her voice trembled, not with sadness, but with strength. And in that moment, he felt his world shatter. The drunk driver responsible for her accident was him. The truth hit him like a wave, crushing everything inside. Every luxury, every success he had ever achieved suddenly felt meaningless. He couldn't bear to look her in the eye, and, overwhelmed by guilt, he disappeared, unable to forgive himself. Yet before he could even ask for it, she forgave him, a forgiveness so pure it left him speechless. She looked at him and said, "You can't change the past, but you can change what's left of your future." Her forgiveness became his guiding light. He sold his company, started a foundation to help accident victims, and dedicated himself to making a real difference in the world. And through it all, she stayed by his side, not because of who he once was, but because of the person he had become. He had once believed that money could buy anything, but now he understood the truth. Love, forgiveness, and peace. These were treasures that could only be earned, not bought. He may have lost his wealth, but he had gained something far more precious: a heart that finally knew how to love. Sometimes the richest people are the ones who have nothing left but love. And sometimes the very people we have hurt the most are the ones who end up healing us in ways we never imagined.